1. Introduction. For centuries, spiritual traditions and esoteric teachings have proposed a universal order based on principles of energy, vibration, and consciousness. Among these traditions, Hermeticism, a philosophical and mystical system derived from the teachings of Hermes Trismegistus, has been one of the most enduring. The Hermetic Principles, outlined in the Kabbalion and other ancient texts, describe fundamental laws governing existence. These principles are: 1. The principle of mentalism, all is mind, reality is fundamentally mental in nature. 2. The principle of correspondence, as above, so below, patterns repeat across all levels of reality. 3. The principle of vibration, everything moves, all things are in constant motion. 4. The principle of polarity, everything has opposites, dual forces exist in all things. 5. The principle of rhythm, cycles govern all things, the universe moves in rhythmic cycles. 6. The principle of cause and effect, nothing is random, every action has a consequence. 7. The principle of gender, everything has masculine and feminine energy, creative forces manifest in duality. While these principles have been regarded as metaphysical insights, modern physics has largely dismissed them as philosophical or mystical rather than scientific. However, the emergence of the time force hypothesis TFH, a theoretical framework that explains reality as an energy-based self-regulating scalar field, provides a scientific foundation for these Hermetic laws. TFH is based on a 4D scalar field equation that governs the emergence of space, time, forces, and matter from a single fundamental energy structure. This framework naturally aligns with the Hermetic worldview, demonstrating that the ancient intuitive understanding of reality was, in fact, an early attempt to describe a scientifically verifiable phenomenon. In this paper, we systematically connect the Hermetic principles to TFH, demonstrating that these timeless teachings are not just philosophical ideas, but scientifically valid descriptions of physical laws. By doing so, we offer a bridge between ancient wisdom and modern physics, showing that the universe functions as an interconnected system governed by energy flow, equilibrium-seeking behavior, and fundamental symmetry. 1.1. Historical context: the origins of Hermeticism and its connection to early science. 1.1.1. The origins of Hermeticism. Hermeticism is an ancient philosophical and mystical tradition that traces its origins to the legendary figure Hermes Trismegistus, whose name means thrice great Hermes. This figure is often identified as a synthesis of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth, both of whom were associated with wisdom, knowledge, writing, and the transmission of divine principles. The earliest Hermetic texts appear in Hellenistic Egypt circa 300 BCE, 400 CE, particularly within the city of Alexandria, a major intellectual center where Greek, Egyptian, and Eastern philosophies converged. The Hermetic corpus, a collection of writings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, serves as the foundation of Hermetic thought. These texts cover a wide range of subjects, including alchemy, astrology, metaphysics, and cosmology, and emphasize the unity of all things through an underlying divine principle. Some of the most influential Hermetic texts include the Emerald Tablet, a short but profound text that contains the famous phrase, "as above, so below." The Poimandres, a revelation of divine wisdom about the nature of the universe. The Asclepius, a dialogue about the role of humanity in understanding and shaping the cosmos. Hermeticism as a proto-scientific worldview. While Hermeticism is often classified as mystical or religious, it was, in many ways, an early scientific philosophy. It emphasized: 1. The search for universal laws governing nature. 2. The interconnectedness of all things. 3. The role of the human mind in understanding reality. 4. The study of energy, vibration, and equilibrium. These themes closely align with modern physics and cosmology, particularly the time force hypothesis TFH, which proposes that the universe operates under a self-regulating, energy-driven system. 1.1.2. The connection between Hermeticism and early science. This scientific revolution was deeply influenced by Hermetic principles. Some of history's greatest scientific minds were inspired by Hermetic and alchemical traditions, believing that the universe could be understood through universal laws of energy and vibration. Key figures influenced by Hermeticism. 1. Isaac Newton, 1643-1727. Often regarded as one of the greatest physicists of all time, Newton was deeply involved in alchemy and Hermetic studies. His laws of motion and universal gravitation align with the Hermetic principle of cause and effect. Newton believed that the universe was governed by a single set of divine laws, echoing the principle of correspondence as above, so below. 2. Johannes Kepler, 1571-1630. Kepler, who formulated the laws of planetary motion, believed that celestial mechanics were expressions of divine harmony. His idea that planetary orbits followed mathematical patterns mirrors the Hermetic belief in cosmic order and rhythm. Giordano Bruno, 1548-1600s. Bruno proposed that the universe was infinite, composed of an infinite number of worlds, each governed by the same principles. His ideas about energy and consciousness closely resemble modern quantum physics and the TFH scalar field model. 4. Nikola Tesla, 1856-1943. Tesla famously stated, If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. His research on electromagnetic waves, resonance, and energy fields directly connects to both Hermeticism and TFH. 1.1.3 Ancient Science and Hermetic Thought. Many ancient civilizations developed scientific and mathematical principles that align with Hermetic ideas. Ancient Egyptian science and the role of Thoth. Thoth, the Egyptian god of wisdom, was believed to have given humanity mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and writing. The Emerald Tablet, attributed to Hermes Thoth, suggests that the material and immaterial worlds are reflections of each other, aligning with TFH's concept of the universe as a structured scalar field. Pythagoras and the mathematics of vibration. Pythagoras c. 570 developed numerical ratios to describe harmony in music, nature, and the cosmos. His belief that all things are governed by vibrational patterns is mirrored in TFH's principle that everything is an oscillation in the scalar field, Platonic forms, and the idea of a structured universe. Plato c. 427-347 BCE proposed that the physical world is a shadow of a higher, more fundamental reality. This concept is strikingly similar to the TFH perspective, where particles and forces emerge from a deeper energetic field. 1.14 How the time force hypothesis TFH bridges ancient wisdom and modern physics. The time force hypothesis TFH provides a scientific framework that validates Hermetic teachings, demonstrating that what was once thought of as metaphysical speculation is, in fact, deeply rooted in the fabric of reality. Hermetic Principle, Ancient Philosophy. TFH scientific equivalent. Mentalism, all is mind. The universe is structured by consciousness. The universe is a self-regulating energy field. Correspondence, as above, so below. Patterns repeat across all levels of existence. TFH describes fractal energy structures from quantum to cosmic scales. Vibration, everything moves. Everything is in a constant state of motion. TFH states that all matter and forces emerge from oscillating energy waves. Polarity, everything has opposites. Rhythm cycles govern all things. Cause and effect, nothing is random. Gender, masculine and feminine forces exist in all things. Light, dark, hot, cold, male, female. The universe moves in cyclic patterns. Every action has a reaction. Creative and receptive forces exist in nature. Charge, mass energy interactions, and quantum symmetry in TFH. TFH predicts cosmic oscillations, wave dynamics, and gravitational cycles. TFH describes reality as energy redistribution governed by deterministic laws. TFH states that complementary energy flows exist in every system, e.g., expansion, contractio, and positive, negative charges. 1.1.5 Conclusion. The scientific validation of Hermeticism through TFH. The Hermetic tradition was not just mystical speculation, it was an early attempt to describe the fundamental laws of the universe. The time force hypothesis TFH provides a scientific framework that aligns perfectly with these ancient principles, offering a modern, testable formulation of energy, vibration, and reality's interconnected nature. Key takeaways. Hermeticism is an early proto-scientific worldview that emphasized universal laws of energy and vibration. Many of history's greatest scientists, Newton, Tesla, Kepler, were influenced by Hermetic teachings. The time force hypothesis provides a modern, mathematically rigorous explanation for these ancient insights. 2. The principle of mentalism and the scalar field of TFH. The all is mind, the universe is mental. The principle of mentalism is the foundational Hermetic principle, stating that all reality is ultimately mental in nature, that everything emerges from an underlying field of consciousness or mind. This concept suggests that the universe itself is a manifestation of thought, intelligence, or structured energy. For centuries, this idea has been confined to philosophy, mysticism, and metaphysics, dismissed by mainstream physics as non-scientific. However, the time force hypothesis TFH introduces a compelling scientific framework that naturally aligns with the principle of mentalism. TFH proposes that the universe is a self-organizing, evolving energy field, where matter, space, time, and even consciousness emerge from the dynamics of a fundamental 4D scalar field. This perspective bridges ancient Hermetic wisdom with cutting-edge physics, showing that the mental nature of reality can be understood in terms of energy propagation, information structures, and self-organizing systems. 2.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of mentalism. Historically, the principle of mentalism has been interpreted in two key ways. 1. Consciousness creates reality. Ancient Hermeticists believe that the mind is primary and that all physical manifestations arise from it. This idea has resurfaced in modern idealism and panpsychism, which propose that consciousness is fundamental to the fabric of the universe. 2. Reality is an ordered thought structure. Rather than a chaotic, random existence, reality follows precise mathematical and energetic laws like a structured thought unfolding in space and time. This aligns with Platonism, quantum information theory, and simulation hypotheses in modern science. Modern physics connection. Quantum mechanics suggests that particles exist in probabilistic states until observed, leading to interpretations like the observer effect and quantum consciousness theories. The time-force hypothesis goes beyond quantum mechanics, showing that reality itself emerges from structured energy dynamics, which can be interpreted as a form of universal mind. 2.2. The time-force hypothesis, TFH, and the emergent universe. How TFH explains mentalism scientifically. The time-force hypothesis describes reality as a self-regulating energy field, governed by the following equation. X, T, is the scalar field that generates all forces, space, and matter. The damping factor ensures that the field evolves in equilibrium-seeking patterns. The nonlinear term beta phi 2 phi accounts for self-organizing information-storing properties, leading to emergent complexity. This equation suggests that all of reality is governed by a single fundamental energy field that structures itself into ordered forms. Key insight. The scalar field of TFH behaves like a structured information network, where energy distributes itself in mathematically precise, self-regulating ways. This aligns with the idea that the universe is mental, in the sense that it is structured like a self-replicating thought or information process. 2.3. Energy as information. TFH's scientific foundation for consciousness. One of the strongest arguments for mentalism is the idea that consciousness itself is not separate from the universe, but a fundamental feature of energy flow. TFH perspective, consciousness as energy processing. In TFH, information is stored in the scalar field itself, meaning that the field acts as a universal memory system, similar to the way a brain processes data. Neuroscientific evidence, the brain operates through oscillatory wave functions and energy gradients, much like how TFH's scalar field organizes itself into stable vortices. Quantum coherence and thought structures, some researchers suggest that consciousness may arise from quantum interactions, e.g. Penrose-Hameroff's orchestrated objective reduction. TFH supports this, proposing that consciousness is a resonant, self-organizing pattern of energy flow. Conclusion. If the universe itself is structured through these same energy laws, then consciousness may not be a separate entity, but an intrinsic property of energy flow within TFH's field. This means that mentalism is not just a philosophical idea, but a scientifically viable framework. 2.4. The role of perception and reality in TFH. One of the most profound implications of the principle of mentalism is that our perception of reality may be an interface, not the fundamental truth. TFH's explanation of perception as a field interaction. In TFH, the physical world emerges as an energy projection from the deeper scalar field. Space and time are not fundamental dimensions, but emergent effects of energy propagation. This aligns with holographic universe theories, where our reality may be a lower dimensional representation of a higher dimensional field. Scientific support for mentalism. The observer effect in quantum mechanics suggests that reality may not be fully independent of perception. TFH explains this without paradox by showing that the energy field self-organizes into stable patterns when interacting with other energy structures, such as consciousness itself. This means that what we call mind and matter are actually the same thing, energy manifesting at different scales. 2.5. The mind of the universe. Is TFH the scientific proof of a living cosmos? If the TFH scalar field is structured like an information network, then it may possess self-organizing intelligence, meaning that the universe functions as a kind of vast living system. Key evidence supporting this idea. 1. Self-organizing complexity in nature. The universe fine-tunes itself through the laws of energy balance. Evolution, chemistry, and star formation all follow self-regulating patterns. 2. Mathematical laws that think. The mathematical precision of physical laws suggests an underlying intelligence. The TFH field equations function like a feedback system, constantly adjusting.
3. Quantum entanglement amp non-locality.
Instantaneous correlations between particles suggest a deeper level of interconnected information exchange. This supports the idea that everything is fundamentally one, a single structured thought field. Conclusion. TFH does not require a supernatural consciousness to explain reality, but it does suggest that the universe itself functions as an intelligent energy system. This aligns with the Hermetic principle of mentalism, proving that the universe is not random, but structured through self-organizing, information processing energy. 2.6. Summary. The scientific validation of mentalism through TFH. Hermetic principle of mentalism. Time-force hypothesis TFH explanation. Reality is fundamentally mental in nature. TFH describes the universe as an intelligent, structured scalar field. The universe is an expression of consciousness. Energy organizes itself into self-regulating, complex structures that behave like an information. Hermetic principle of mentalism. Time-force hypothesis TFH explanation. Network. Mind and matter are the same thing at different scales. Consciousness is a structured energy process, not separate from the field. Perception shapes reality. The universe emerges from energy interactions, meaning mind and perception are part of reality's formation. Final thought. The principle of mentalism is no longer just philosophy, it is a testable scientific concept under TFH. This means that energy, thought, and existence itself are part of the same fundamental structure. 3. The principle of correspondence and holographic reality in TFH. As above, so below, as within, so without. The principle of correspondence states that patterns repeat at different levels of existence, that the macrocosm, the universe, reflects the microcosm, the smallest particles, and vice versa. This idea suggests a fundamental symmetry in nature, where the same laws and structures manifest across all scales of reality. While often seen as philosophical or mystical, this concept is now supported by modern physics, fractal mathematics, and the time force hypothesis, TFH. TFH reveals that the universe is fundamentally fractal and holographic, meaning that small-scale structures mirror large-scale structures due to the underlying energy dynamics of the scalar field. In this section, we explore how TFH provides a scientific foundation for correspondence, showing that particles, galaxies, consciousness, and cosmic structures all follow the same fundamental energy laws. 3.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of correspondence. The principle of correspondence is one of the most profound and widely recognized Hermetic principles, appearing across ancient mysticism, philosophy, and religious traditions. It has been interpreted in two primary ways. 1. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm. The structure of the atom mirrors the structure of the solar system. The human body mirrors the structure of the cosmos, e.g., chakras aligning with planetary energies. The patterns found in nature, e.g., golden ratio, fractals, repeat across different scales. 2. The laws of one level of reality apply to all levels. The same principles that govern subatomic physics apply to galaxies and black holes. The laws of consciousness and human behavior reflect cosmic cycles. Thoughts and emotions follow patterns similar to physical forces, e.g., energy attraction, vibrational frequency. Modern scientific connection. Quantum physics suggests that small-scale quantum fluctuations mirror the large-scale cosmic structure of the universe. The time force hypothesis, TFH, explains this phenomenon using self-organizing energy structures in the scalar field. 3.2. The time force hypothesis, TFH, and the self-similar universe. 3.2.1. How TFH explains correspondence scientifically. TFH describes the universe as a self-regulating energy field, governed by the equation 2 phi phi, C2 phi plus alpha T2 plus beta phi, where phi xt represents the scalar energy field that forms particles, forces, and space itself. The interaction term beta phi 2 phi allows the field to self-organize into repeating, self-similar structures. The damping factor ensures stable, cyclic patterns emerge over time. Key insight. The same equation governs all scales, from the formation of quantum vortices to the spiral structure of galaxies. This means that nature's patterns are not random, but the result of deep underlying fractal symmetry in the TFH field. 3.3. Fractals, self-similarity, and the holographic universe. 3.3.1. Fractal geometry and energy distribution in TFH. A fractal is a pattern that repeats at different scales, such as a tree's branches, coastlines, and galaxies. The TFH field equation naturally generates fractal structures due to the nonlinear interaction term. This explains why galaxies form in spirals, atoms have electron shells, and consciousness follows layered complexity. Real-world examples of fractality in TFH. Quantum scale, electron orbitals form fractal energy distributions. Biological scale, the human nervous system, blood vessels, and DNA exhibit fractal self-similarity. Cosmic scale, galaxy clusters and dark matter filaments mirror fractal structures seen in small-scale physics. Conclusion, TFH proves that fractal patterns emerge naturally from fundamental energy flow laws. 3.3.2. The holographic universe and TFH. Another major scientific validation of correspondence is the holographic principle, which states that the information of the universe is encoded in lower dimensional structures. Black hole physics shows that the information of a black hole is stored on its event horizon. Quantum field theory suggests that our 3D universe is a projection of deeper quantum information. TFH states that space, time, and matter emerge from a structured scalar field, meaning that our entire experience of reality may be a holographic projection of a deeper energy network. Key connection. If all forces and particles emerge from the same field equations, then higher and lower levels of reality are reflections of the same process, exactly as the principle of correspondence states. 3.4. Cosmic and quantum correspondence. Examples in TFH. The time force hypothesis provides a direct mathematical link between small and large-scale physics. Here are key examples. Scale phenomenon TFH explanation. Quantum microcosm. Electron orbits resemble planetary systems. Both emerge as stable vortices in the TFH field. Biological DNA structure resembles galactic spirals. Energy efficiency follows fractal self-organization. Cosmic macrocosm. Spiral galaxies resemble hurricanes. Both are self-organizing field vortices in TFH. Consciousness neural networks resemble cosmic structures. Information in the TFH field scales similarly across mind and matter. Conclusion. The principle of correspondence is no longer just a mystical idea, it is a scientific fact under TFH. The same energy laws govern electrons, DNA, hurricanes, and galaxies. 3.5. Implications. How TFH proves we live in a connected universe. The correspondence between different levels of reality suggests that the universe is deeply interconnected. Scientific implications of TFH's correspondence principle. 1. unified physics is possible. Since TFH describes both quantum and cosmic scales with the same equation, this means a true theory of everything is possible. 2. Consciousness is part of the cosmic pattern. If neurons and galaxies share the same structural logic, then consciousness itself may be a fundamental feature of the TFH field. 3. Predictable energy cycles in nature. Understanding how small systems mirror large systems allows us to predict cosmic, biological, and even psychological patterns. 3.6. Summary. The scientific validation of correspondence through TFH. Hermetic Principle of Correspondence. Time Force Hypothesis TFH explanation. The microcosm reflects the macrocosm. TFH describes self-similar fractal energy structures at all levels. Patterns repeat across all scales. TFH's field equations govern both subatomic and cosmic structures. Hermetic Principle of Correspondence. Energy laws are universal. Reality is holographic. Time Force Hypothesis TFH explanation. The same scalar energy flow governs both consciousness and the cosmos. The universe is an emergent projection of deeper energy structures in TFH. Final thought. The principle of correspondence is no longer just philosophy, it is a scientifically valid description of reality under TFH. The universe is fractal, holographic, and deeply interconnected, proving that as above, so below is a fundamental truth of existence. 4. The principle of vibration and the scalar field oscillations in TFH. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. The principle of vibration states that everything in the universe is in constant motion, from the smallest subatomic particle to the largest galaxies. This principle emphasizes that motion, frequency, and oscillation are fundamental to existence. For centuries, this idea has been seen as a mystical truth rather than a physical law. However, modern physics and the time force hypothesis TFH provide a scientific foundation for this principle, demonstrating that all of reality is built upon energy waves and oscillations in the scalar field. In this section, we explore how TFH mathematically and conceptually validates the principle of vibration, proving that energy, consciousness, and matter all arise from oscillatory energy patterns in the universe's fundamental field. 4.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of vibration. The principle of vibration has been interpreted in two key ways. 1. The entire universe is in constant motion. Ancient Hermeticists taught that nothing is truly at rest, even if it appears stationary. They believe that all matter and consciousness are forms of energy in motion. 2. Different vibrations create different states of matter and consciousness. High-frequency vibrations correspond to light, spirit, and thought. Low-frequency vibrations correspond to dense matter, physicality, and material existence. This aligns with modern wave mechanics, where different vibrational frequencies determine the properties of physical systems. Modern scientific connection. Quantum mechanics states that particles behave as waves, meaning everything exists as vibrational energy fields. The time force hypothesis TFH expands on this by showing that all particles, forces, and consciousness itself emerge from a vibrating scalar energy field. 4.2. The time force hypothesis TFH and vibrational reality. 4.2.1. How TFH explains vibration scientifically. In TFH, everything in the universe is an oscillation in the fundamental energy field. The universe is not made of static particles, but structured waveforms that interact dynamically. The fundamental TFH field equation, 2 phi phi, C22 phi plus alpha T2T plus beta phi, where phi xt represents the scalar energy field responsible for matter, forces, and consciousness. 2 phi. The term 2 ensures that all things oscillate naturally as a function of t, time. The wave term, C22 phi, shows how these oscillations propagate through space. Key insight. The universe is not static, but a constant flow of oscillating energy waves. Everything we perceive, from light to sound, atoms to galaxies, consciousness to emotions, is simply a different mode of vibration within the TFH scalar field. 4.3. Everything is a wave, TFH, and quantum mechanics. In modern quantum physics, it is well established that 1. Electrons, photons, and even larger molecules behave as waves. 2. The entire universe follows wave mechanics, governed by Schrödinger's equation. 3. Reality at the most fundamental level is described by vibrational energy patterns. 4.3.1. TFH's wave nature of reality. While quantum mechanics already tells us that matter is vibrational, TFH takes it a step further by stating not just particles, but space, time, and forces themselves are wave-like properties of the scalar field. Matter and forces are simply stable standing waves within the TFH field. TFH's key prediction. If everything is vibration, then all forces and particles should be derivable as specific waveforms of the fundamental field. This aligns with the principle of vibration, which states that all reality is structured as oscillatory motion. 4.4. The frequency spectrum of reality, TFH, and vibrational hierarchies. Just as different frequencies produce different musical notes, different vibrational patterns in the TFH field give rise to different forms of matter and consciousness. Vibration level. High-frequency waves, mid-frequency waves, low-frequency waves. TFH, interpretation consciousness, thought, higher dimensional energy. matter, atomic structures, fundamental particles, cosmic structures, gravity, planetary motion, scientific equivalent, quantum coherence, zero-point energy, light waves, electron wave functions, molecular bonds, space-time distortions, gravitational waves. Conclusion. The principle of vibration states that reality is structured by different frequencies. TFH confirms this scientifically, showing that matter, light, and thought are simply different vibrational states of the same underlying field. 4.5. The connection between vibration and consciousness. One of the most profound implications of the principle of vibration is its connection to consciousness. 4.5.1. Consciousness as a resonant energy pattern. In TFH, consciousness is not separate from the physical universe, but a form of high-frequency energy organization in the scalar field. Neural activity in the brain follows wave-like coherence patterns, suggesting that thought and perception are structured by vibration. Quantum mind theories, e.g. Penrose-Hameroff's Orcher theory, propose that consciousness emerges from quantum vibrations in microtubules. TFH expands on this, suggesting that consciousness is a self-sustaining energy vortex within the fundamental field. Conclusion. Consciousness itself follows vibrational laws, meaning that mental states and physical reality are fundamentally linked through energy oscillations. 4.6. Testable predictions. How TFH can prove the principle of vibration. If TFH is correct, then the vibrational nature of reality should be experimentally observable in new ways. 1. Scalar field oscillations in dark matter. If all forces emerge from vibrations, then dark matter should exhibit subtle energy wave effects that can be detected through precision astrophysical measurements. 2. Vibrational signatures in consciousness. If thought itself is an energy wave, then TFH predicts that brain activity should show direct energy resonance with quantum states. 3. Gravitational wave resonance effects. OTFH predicts that gravitational waves should exhibit subtle damping and frequency shifts due to interaction with the field. Conclusion. If these TFH predictions are confirmed, then the Hermetic principle of vibration will have been scientifically proven. 4.7. Summary: the scientific validation of vibration through TFH. Time force hypothesis TFH. Hermetic principle of vibration explanation. Everything is in motion TFH states that all forces and particles emerge from scalar field oscillations. Matter and energy are vibrational states. TFH describes particles as stable standing waves within the fundamental energy field. Consciousness is a vibration. TFH suggests that thought is structured as a high-frequency energy vortex in the field. The universe is a spectrum of frequencies. Different energy levels in TFH create light, sound, matter, and cosmic forces. Final thought. The principle of vibration is not just philosophy. It is a testable, scientific reality under TFH. The entire universe, from atoms to galaxies to consciousness itself, is structured as an interconnected vibrational field. 5. The principle of polarity and matter-antimatter balance in TFH. Everything is dual, everything has poles, everything has its pair of opposites. The principle of polarity states that all things exist in duality, light and dark, hot and cold, male and female, expansion and contraction. This principle emphasizes that opposites are actually two extremes of the same underlying reality, and that polarity is necessary for balance and creation. For centuries, this idea has been a central theme in philosophy, mysticism, and Hermeticism, but it is also deeply embedded in modern physics and the time force hypothesis TFH. TFH provides a scientific foundation for polarity in nature, demonstrating that matter, energy, forces, and even consciousness emerge from the interaction of opposing principles within the scalar field. In this section, we explore how TFH validates the principle of polarity, proving that positive and negative charges, matter and antimatter, gravity and expansion, and even mind and body are reflections of fundamental dualities in energy dynamics. 5.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of polarity. The principle of polarity has been understood in two primary ways. 1. All things exist in pairs. Hot and cold, light and dark, love and hate, expansion and contraction. These pairs are not separate but different expressions of the same force. In Hermetic thought, these polarities define reality and drive all interactions. 2. The universe is structured by dynamic opposites. Creation emerges from the tension between opposing forces, just as the yin-yang symbol represents balance in nature. Alchemy describes this as the interplay of fire and water, sulfur and mercury, essentially, opposing forces creating transformation. Modern scientific connection. Electromagnetism, matter-antimatter symmetry, and gravitational expansion all demonstrate fundamental polarities in physics. TFH takes this further, showing that all reality emerges from the interaction of dual energy states in the scalar field. 5.2. The time force hypothesis TFH and energy polarity. 5.2. How TFH explains polarity scientifically. In TFH, the universe is structured by energy balance, where every force, particle, and wave has a complementary counterpart. The fundamental TFH equation, 2 phi phi. C2, 2 phi, plus alpha, T2T, plus beta phi, 2 phi equal to 0, contains built-in polarity. The energy potential phi xt allows for opposing charges, fields, and forces to exist naturally. The oscillatory nature of solutions to this equation means that positive and negative energy states emerge as paired structures. Key insight. The universe naturally creates polarity because energy organizes itself in complementary forms: matter, antimatter, positive and negative charge. Gravity and expansion are not separate. They are dual expressions of the same field. 5.3. Matter and antimatter, the TFH explanation for cosmic symmetry. One of the greatest mysteries in physics is the matter-antimatter asymmetry problem. The standard model predicts that equal amounts of matter and antimatter should have been created at the Big Bang. However, our universe is mostly matter, with very little antimatter detected. TFH provides a natural solution to this mystery. Matter and antimatter are vortices of opposite rotation in the TFH scalar field. The early universe underwent a polarity shift, creating an imbalance in these vortices. This would result in a slightly greater number of matter vortices than antimatter vortices, leading to the universe we observe today. TFH's key prediction. If matter and antimatter are vortices in the field, then we should detect subtle spin-related differences between particles and antiparticles. This could be tested in high-energy particle accelerators. 5.4. Charge polarity, why electromagnetism exists in TFH. Electricity and magnetism are governed by charge polarity. Positive and negative charges create electromagnetic forces. Magnetism is an effect of moving electric charges, showing that polarity is intrinsic to field interactions. TFH explanation. Charge arises from gradients in the scalar field. Q phi. Electromagnetic waves propagate as oscillations between these opposite charge states, mirroring the principle of polarity. TFH's key prediction. If charge is a fundamental field gradient, then TFH predicts the possibility of charge reversals under extreme field distortions. This could explain exotic physics phenomena such as dark energy interactions. 5.5. Gravity versus expansion, the ultimate polarity in cosmology. One of the biggest open questions in physics is why the universe experiences both gravity and expansion. TFH's explanation: gravity and expansion as energy duality. Gravity contracts space, pulling matter inward. Dark energy expands space, pushing matter apart. These are not separate forces, they are opposing manifestations of the TFH field's energy balance. Mathematical explanation in TFH. The TFH field contains two competing terms: the self-attracting energy term, C2 phi, which leads to gravity; the self-repelling term alpha, which causes cosmic expansion. TFH's key prediction. The universe's expansion rate is not constant but oscillates due to long-term field interactions. This could explain periodic fluctuations in cosmic acceleration, which could be measured in future dark energy surveys. 5.6. The polarity of consciousness, the mind-body connection in TFH. The principle of polarity applies not only to physical forces but also to consciousness and human experience. 5.6.1. TFH's explanation of the dual nature of mind and matter. In TFH, mind and matter are not separate entities but opposite poles of the same energy structure. Consciousness emerges from high-frequency energy states, while matter emerges from low-frequency energy states. This mirrors the Hermetic duality of spirit and form, showing that mental and physical states are vibrational opposites. TFH's key insight. Just as electrical polarity creates energy flow, the interaction between mind and matter creates perception and experience. This means that conscious thought influences physical reality through vibrational interactions in the field. 5.7. Summary: the scientific validation of polarity through TFH. Hermetic principle of polarity. Everything has its opposite. Time force hypothesis, TFH explanation. TFH states that all forces and particles exist in complementary pairs. Matter and antimatter are reflections of each other. TFH predicts that matter-antimatter asymmetry arises from vortex dynamics in the field. Gravity and expansion are cosmic dualities. TFH states that gravitational pull and cosmic expansion emerge from opposing field gradients. Charge polarity is fundamental in TFH. Positive and negative charges arise from energy field interactions. Mind and matter are opposites. TFH states that thought and physical matter are different vibrational states of the same field. Final thought. The principle of polarity is not just a mystical idea. It is an observed, scientifically valid phenomenon under TFH. Every force, every particle, and every conscious experience emerges from energy duality, showing that polarity is the fundamental principle of existence. 6. The principle of rhythm and cyclic cosmology in TFH. Everything flows, out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The principle of rhythm states that the universe operates in cycles, that everything moves in predictable patterns of expansion and contraction, creation and destruction, rise and fall. This principle emphasizes that all phenomena follow a rhythmic law, from the motion of celestial bodies to the life cycles of living beings. For centuries, this idea has been viewed as a philosophical observation rather than a scientific law. However, modern physics and the time force hypothesis, TFH, provide a rigorous mathematical and physical explanation for why cyclic behavior governs all levels of reality. TFH demonstrates that matter, energy, time, consciousness, and cosmic evolution all follow oscillatory patterns due to the fundamental nature of wave dynamics in the scalar field. In this section, we explore how TFH validates the principle of rhythm, proving that the entire universe is structured by oscillatory energy waves that manifest as repeating cosmic, physical, and biological cycles. 6.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of rhythm. The principle of rhythm has been understood in two primary ways. 1. The universe moves in cycles. Everything moves according to predictable patterns, day and night, seasons, the rise and fall of civilizations. The pendulum swing governs both physical and mental phenomena. After intense expansion, there is always contraction. 2. Energy flows in oscillations. Nothing remains static. Everything flows through high energy and low energy states. Mental and emotional states rise and fall just as stock markets, climate patterns, and economic systems do. Modern scientific connection. Wave mechanics in physics shows that everything in reality follows oscillatory motion. TFH expands on this, proving that space, time, and energy itself exhibit rhythmic cycles. 6.2. The time force hypothesis, TFH and cyclic reality. 6.2.1. How TFH explains rhythm scientifically. In TFH, the universe is governed by periodic energy fluctuations, meaning that all forces, particles, and cosmic evolution follow wave-like oscillations. The fundamental TFH equation, 2 phi phi, C2 phi plus alpha, T2T plus beta phi, 2 phi equal to 0, contains intrinsic cyclic behavior, 2 phi. The oscillatory term, 2, ensures that everything in the universe follows. T, wave patterns. The damping factor allows for stable cycles of energy rise, and T, dissipation. The self-interaction term, beta phi 2 phi, ensures that waves reinforce or dampen based on energy feedback loops. Key insight. The universe naturally oscillates between states of high and low energy, expansion, and contraction. These cycles govern not only cosmic motion, but also matter formation, consciousness, and social structures. 6.3. Cosmic cycles, TFH, and the oscillating universe. One of the biggest mysteries in physics is the cyclic nature of cosmic expansion and contraction. 6.3. TFH's explanation for the expansion and contraction of the universe. The current standard model suggests a one-time Big Bang, but TFH proposes that the universe expands and contracts cyclically. In TFH, the cosmic expansion rate is not constant but oscillates due to the interaction of gravitational pull and scalar field repulsion. Mathematical explanation in TFH, the universe's energy density oscillates, meaning that the expansion phase slows and eventually reverses. This could explain cosmic epochs, where the universe goes through alternating periods of acceleration and deceleration. TFH's key prediction. If TFH's oscillatory model is correct, then we should detect subtle variations in cosmic acceleration rates over billions of years. This could be tested with precision dark energy observations and cosmic microwave background fluctuations. 6.4. The wave nature of time, TFH's explanation for temporal cycles. One of the most intriguing implications of the principle of rhythm is that time itself may be oscillatory, not linear. 6.4.1. TFH's explanation for time as a cyclic force. In TFH, time is not an independent dimension, but an emergent property of energy flow. The passage of time is governed by scalar field oscillations, meaning that time perception can vary depending on energy conditions. TFH's key insight. The oscillatory nature of time explains why cycles repeat across history, civilizations, and individual lives. This could explain historical cycles, e.g., rise and fall of empires, repeating technological advancements. TFH's key prediction. If time itself follows energy oscillations, then TFH predicts that time dilation effects should exhibit rhythmic patterns in extreme cosmic conditions. 6.5. Biological rhythms and consciousness oscillations in TFH. The principle of rhythm applies not just to physics, but also to biology and human consciousness. 6.5.1. The biological clock, TFH's explanation for life cycles. Biological processes follow circadian rhythms, seasonal cycles, and growth-decay oscillations. The human body operates on biorhythms, showing that life itself is structured by periodic energy changes. TFH's key insight. The scalar field affects biological oscillations, meaning that life is directly connected to cosmic energy cycles. This could explain why human behavior follows predictable emotional and cognitive cycles. 6.5.2. The rhythms of thought, TFH, and brainwave oscillations. Consciousness operates in brainwave frequencies, from delta deep sleep to gamma high cognition. Thought patterns rise and fall, following attention cycles, mood cycles, and memory retrieval oscillations. TFH's key prediction. If thought and memory are governed by field oscillations, then TFH suggests that altering external energy states, e.g., electromagnetic stimulation, can modify brainwave synchronization. 6.6. Testable predictions. How TFH can prove the principle of rhythm. If TFH is correct, then we should observe energy oscillations at multiple scales, from the cosmos to subatomic particles to human consciousness. 1. Cyclic variations in cosmic expansion. OTFH predicts that dark energy expansion is not uniform but oscillates over billions of years. This could be tested with precision astronomical measurements. 2. Subatomic wave resonances. If all particles are stable wave oscillations, TFH predicts new quantum resonance effects at extreme energy levels. This could be observed in next-generation particle accelerators. 3. brainwave synchronization with external fields. O. If consciousness operates via field oscillations, TFH predicts that external energy modulation should alter cognitive function. O. This could be tested with neurological stimulation experiments. 6.7. Summary: the scientific validation of rhythm through TFH. Hermetic principle of rhythm. Time force hypothesis TFH explanation. Everything moves in cycles. TFH states that cosmic, quantum, and biological systems follow periodic energy oscillations. Expansion and contraction govern the universe. TFH predicts that cosmic expansion will eventually slow and reverse, leading to a cyclic universe. Time itself follows rhythmic patterns. TFH suggests that time emerges from energy. Hermetic principle of rhythm. Time force hypothesis TFH explanation. Oscillations in the fundamental field. Biological and mental processes are rhythmic. TFH states that life and consciousness follow periodic wave patterns. Final thought. The principle of rhythm is not just a mystical concept, it is a fundamental, scientifically observable property of reality under TFH. The universe breathes, expands, contracts, and cycles in predictable energy waves, proving that all existence is governed by rhythm. 7. The principle of cause and effect and deterministic physics in TFH. Every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause, everything happens according to law. The principle of cause and effect states that nothing in the universe happens by chance, that all phenomena follow laws of causation, meaning every event has a preceding cause. This principle is fundamental to both scientific reasoning and Hermetic philosophy, as it asserts that reality is governed by structured patterns of interaction rather than randomness. For centuries, this idea has been debated in physics, philosophy, and metaphysics, particularly in discussions about free will, probability, determinism, and quantum mechanics. Modern science has suggested that quantum events may be random, challenging classical determinism. However, the time force hypothesis TFH provides a scientific framework that reconciles determinism with quantum uncertainty, demonstrating that all events arise from structured energy interactions within the fundamental field. In this section, we explore how TFH validates the principle of cause and effect, proving that all motion, force, thought, and reality itself emerge from underlying deterministic laws in the scalar energy field. 7.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of cause and effect. The principle of cause and effect has been interpreted in two key ways. 1. Nothing happens without a cause. Every effect in the universe has a cause, whether visible or hidden. Ancient Hermeticists taught that even seemingly random events are governed by deeper laws. 2. The universe is structured by causal chains. Reality unfolds as a chain of cause and effect, where each action leads to predictable consequences. This applies not just to physical events, but also to mental and spiritual processes. Modern scientific connection. Newtonian physics operates under strict determinism. If the present state is known, the future can be predicted. Quantum mechanics challenges this with probability and uncertainty, but TFH offers a solution. 7.2. The time force hypothesis TFH and causal reality. 7.2.1. How TFH explains cause and effect scientifically. In TFH, the universe is governed by structured energy flow, meaning that all forces, particles, and even consciousness evolve deterministically from prior states. The fundamental TFH equation, 2 phi phi C2 phi plus alpha T2T plus beta phi, demonstrates built-in causality. 2 phi. The second order time derivative 2 ensures that past states influence. T, future evolution. The spatial term, C2 phi, ensures that field interactions propagate deterministically across space. The damping term alpha accounts for energy dissipation and equilibrium. T, seeking behavior. Key insight: the universe is not random, but structured through energy interactions that follow cause-effect relationships. Even quantum events, which appear probabilistic, may follow hidden deterministic laws in TFH. 7.3. The quantum uncertainty debate: is reality truly random? One of the biggest debates in physics is whether the universe is deterministic or inherently random. Quantum mechanics suggests that particles do not have definite properties until measured the observer effect. The Heisenberg uncertainty principle states that position and momentum cannot be simultaneously known. Many physicists conclude that the universe is fundamentally random at small scales. TFH provides a solution. Instead of true randomness, TFH suggests that quantum uncertainty is an illusion caused by hidden field dynamics. The scalar field contains structured but complex, deterministic interactions, which appear probabilistic due to limited observational capability. 7.3.2. Hidden variables in TFH. In standard physics, hidden variable theories attempt to explain quantum uncertainty in deterministic terms. TFH proposes that the missing variables are fluctuations in the scalar energy field, which guide particle behavior at an unseen level. This means that all quantum events have definite causes, but they are influenced by sub-quantum energy flows. TFH's key prediction. If hidden variables exist, then TFH predicts subtle field effects that bias quantum outcomes in non-random ways. This could be tested with high-precision quantum entanglement experiments. 7.4. Cause and effect in gravity and cosmology. Another major scientific mystery is whether the laws of gravity and cosmic expansion are fully deterministic. 7.4.1. TFH's explanation of causal structure in gravity. In classical physics, gravity is purely deterministic. Mass creates spacetime curvature, which governs motion. In quantum gravity theories, fluctuations introduce probabilistic effects, challenging strict cause-effect laws. TFH provides a causal solution. Gravity emerges from structured energy density gradients in the scalar field. This ensures that gravitational forces always follow cause-effect relationships, even at quantum scales. 7.4.2. Cosmic evolution and energy flow in TFH. The universe's expansion rate, star formation, and black hole dynamics follow strict energy causation laws. This means that TFH predicts large-scale cosmic evolution with high accuracy. TFH's key prediction. If TFH's energy-based causality is correct, then all large-scale cosmic structures should exhibit predictable oscillatory energy shifts over time. 7.5. The role of free will. Is human choice determined by TFH? One of the most philosophically challenging implications of the principle of cause and effect is whether human free will is truly real or an illusion of deterministic physics. 7.5.1. TFH's perspective on free will versus determinism. If all things follow causality, does that mean consciousness is predetermined? TFH offers a middle ground, suggesting that while physical events are deterministic, higher-level conscious systems exhibit emergent probabilistic flexibility. TFH's key insight. Brain activity follows deterministic field interactions, but these are nonlinear and self-modifying. This means that consciousness operates within causal constraints but can influence future energy states. TFH's key prediction. If free will exists as an emergent property, then TFH predicts neural decision-making should exhibit structured chaos, neither fully random nor fully determined. This could be tested with neuroscientific experiments on decision prediction. 7.6. Testable predictions. How TFH can prove the principle of cause and effect. If TFH is correct, then we should observe structured determinism at all scales, even where randomness is expected. If all quantum events have deterministic causes, TFH predicts subtle, non-random biases in quantum measurements. This could be tested with next-generation entanglement experiments. 2. Cosmic expansion rate predictability. TFH predicts that dark energy behavior should follow deterministic patterns over long timescales. This could be tested with high-precision astronomical observations. 3. Free will and consciousness decision modeling. If consciousness is causally emergent, TFH predicts brain activity will follow structured but flexible patterns. This could be tested with advanced neural modeling studies. 7.7. Summary. The scientific validation of cause and effect through TFH. Hermetic Principle of Cause and Effect. Time force hypothesis, TFH explanation. Nothing happens by chance. TFH states that all events arise from structured field interactions. Quantum events have underlying causes. TFH suggests that apparent randomness is due to hidden field dynamics. Gravity and cosmic evolution are deterministic. Consciousness follows causal energy patterns. TFH states that space and time follow structured energy laws. TFH proposes that free will emerges as a structured but flexible system. Final thought. The principle of cause and effect is a fundamental truth. Reality is structured, not random. TFH provides a scientific foundation for causality, showing that even uncertainty follows hidden deterministic patterns. 8. The principle of gender in energy. Complementarity in TFH. Gender is in everything. Everything has its masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. The principle of gender states that everything in the universe has both masculine and feminine qualities, and that creation arises from the interplay of these complementary forces. Unlike biological gender, this principle refers to the dual energetic nature of existence, activity and receptivity, expansion and contraction, positive and negative, electric and magnetic. For centuries, this idea has been a fundamental concept in Hermeticism, Taoism yin-yang, and various spiritual traditions, yet modern physics has largely ignored it. However, the time force hypothesis, TFH, provides a scientific framework that validates this principle, demonstrating that all forces, particles, consciousness, and cosmic structures emerge from the interaction of two fundamental complementary energy states. In this section, we explore how TFH scientifically validates the principle of gender, proving that energy flow, creation, and transformation are governed by paired energetic properties in the fundamental scalar field. 8.1. The traditional interpretation of the principle of gender. The principle of gender has been understood in two key ways. 1. The universe is structured by dual creative forces. The masculine principle is active, projective, initiating, associated with expansion, force, and outward expression. The feminine principle is receptive, nurturing, stabilizing, associated with contraction, form, and inward reflection. Creation happens through the balance and interaction of these forces. 2. Gender exists in all aspects of reality. Physically, electromagnetic polarity, particle-antiparticle pairs, gravitational attraction-repulsion. Mentally, logic, masculine versus intuition, feminine, intellect versus emotion. Spiritually, the divine masculine and feminine archetypes found in many traditions. Modern scientific connection. Physics describes many forces as complementary pairs, electric and magnetic fields, matter and antimatter, expansion and contraction. TFH expands on this, proving that all creation arises from structured energy complementarity. 8.2. The time force hypothesis, TFH and energy complementarity. 8.2.1. How TFH explains gender as an energy law. In TFH, the universe is governed by energy dualities, meaning that all forces, particles, and even consciousness evolve from the interaction of paired energy states. The fundamental TFH equation, 2 phi phi, C22 phi plus alpha, T2T plus beta phi, contains intrinsic complementarity, 2 phi. The oscillatory term 2 represents the masculine principle, dynamic. T, energy flow and force propagation. The spatial term, C22 phi, represents the feminine principle, energy stabilization, form generation, and structure. The interaction term, beta phi 2 phi, ensures that both principles continuously interact to create emergent complexity. Key insight. Energy is neither purely active nor purely receptive. Creation happens when these two aspects combine. This applies from particle physics to consciousness to cosmic evolution. 8.3. The masculine and feminine forces in physics. One of the strongest validations of the principle of gender is how modern physics recognizes complementary forces in nature. 8.3.1. Electromagnetism, the archetype of energy gender. Electricity, masculine, generates force, movement, and dynamic energy flow. Magnetism, feminine, provides attraction, stability, and structured form. Together, they create light, electromagnetism, and information transfer. Without both, energy cannot function. TFH's key insight. Electromagnetic interactions are a direct example of how energy requires both active and receptive qualities to exist. This means that polarity in physics is not just charge-based. It is a deeper energy principle that governs all creation. 8.3.2. Matter and antimatter. The TFH explanation for particle gender. Matter, masculine, expressive, structuring, outward-moving energy. Antimatter, feminine, reflective, balancing, returning energy to the field. Matter-antimatter pairs form a universal symmetry, yet our universe is matter-dominated. TFH's key prediction. Antimatter is not missing. It exists in subtle energy states that regulate the formation of cosmic structure. This could be tested by looking for hidden energy imbalances in dark matter regions. 8.3.3. Expansion versus contraction, the cosmic dance of energy. Expansion, masculine. Dark energy pushes the universe outward, driving cosmic inflation. Contraction, feminine. Gravity pulls matter inward, creating galaxies, stars, and black holes. The balance between these forces determines the shape of spacetime itself. TFH's key insight. The principle of gender is visible in the fundamental forces that govern cosmic evolution. Without this balance, the universe would collapse or expand into disorder. 8.4. The gender of consciousness. TFH's explanation for thought polarity. Beyond physics, TFH also applies the principle of gender to consciousness and cognition. 8.4.1. The two aspects of thought in TFH. Masculine, logic, order, analysis, left brain activity, structuring thoughts into logical sequences. Feminine, intuition, emotion, creativity, right brain activity, processing information holistically. Balanced minds use both aspects, just as balanced energy requires both action and receptivity. TFH's key insight. Consciousness itself follows energetic complementarity, meaning that mental harmony is a state of vibrational balance. This suggests that consciousness may be measurable as an energy wave with dual oscillatory properties. 8.5. Testable predictions. How TFH can prove the principle of gender. If TFH is correct, then energy duality should be observable across all levels of existence. 1. Charge-anticharge asymmetries. If energy gender exists, TFH predicts subtle field variations between positive and negative charge interactions. This could be tested by measuring fine-scale electromagnetic distortions in plasma physics. 2. Dark matter as a feminine stabilizing force. TFH suggests that dark matter is a balancing energy field counteracting expansion. This could be tested by looking for structured field wave oscillations in dark matter regions. 3. Brainwave oscillation gender. If thought itself follows energetic complementarity, TFH predicts that left and right brainwave patterns should oscillate in paired cycles. This could be tested with advanced neural EEG resonance mapping. 8.6. Summary. The scientific validation of gender through TFH. Hermetic Principle of Gender. Time Force Hypothesis TFH explanation. Energy is structured by dual principles. TFH states that creation arises from the interaction of active and receptive energy forms. Masculine and feminine exist in all things. TFH describes electromagnetism, gravity, and matter-antimatter as paired energy dynamics. Cosmic evolution follows TFH states that expansion and Hermetic Principle of Gender. Time Force Hypothesis TFH explanation. Complementary cycles contraction, light and dark matter balance the universe. Consciousness follows energetic polarity. TFH suggests that thought itself exhibits masculine and feminine oscillations. Final thought. The principle of gender is not just a mystical idea, it is an observed, scientifically valid property of reality under TFH. All creation, from physics to consciousness, emerges from the interaction of complementary energy states. Conclusion: the scientific validation of Hermeticism through the time-force hypothesis TFH. The lips of wisdom are closed except to the ears of understanding. The Kybalion. For centuries, the Hermetic Principles were considered philosophical, mystical, or esoteric wisdom, ideas about the nature of reality that could not be tested or measured. However, with the emergence of the time-force hypothesis TFH, we have now developed a scientific framework that validates these principles as fundamental laws of physics, energy, and consciousness. Through TFH, we have demonstrated that the universe is structured by a single fundamental field that governs the oscillations, polarities, cycles, and interactions of matter, energy, time, and consciousness. This is not just an abstract concept. It is a mathematical, testable, and physically observable reality. 9.1. How TFH validates each Hermetic principle. Hermetic principle scientific explanation via TFH. Mentalism, all is mind. The universe is an intelligent, structured, scalar field that self-organizes like an energy-based thought network. Correspondence: as above, so below. Reality is fractal and self-similar, meaning patterns at the quantum scale mirror the structures of galaxies and cosmic evolution. Vibration: everything moves. TFH confirms that all existence is vibration, matter, forces, and consciousness arise from energy oscillations. Polarity: everything has its opposite. Energy structures always emerge as pairs: matter, antimatter, charge polarity, gravity expansion. Rhythm cycles govern all things. The cosmos, subatomic particles, biological life, and even thought follow predictable oscillatory cycles. Cause and effect: nothing happens by chance. Reality is not random. Everything arises from structured energy interactions, even at the quantum level. Gender: energy exists in complementary pairs. Creation arises from the dynamic interaction of two complementary forces: expansion, contraction, charge duality, matter-energy balance. This suggests that the ancient Hermeticists, alchemists, and mystics were not simply engaging in metaphor or mystical speculation. They were describing the fundamental laws of physics in the language available to them at the time. 9.2. Implications for the future of science and consciousness. The validation of Hermetic principles through TFH opens profound new questions about the nature of reality, consciousness, and humanity's place in the universe. 1. Science and the unified field. If TFH accurately describes a fundamental scalar energy field, then we may be on the verge of discovering a true theory of everything that unites quantum mechanics, relativity, and consciousness into a single framework. This could lead to entirely new energy technologies, from gravity control to direct energy manipulation, transforming our understanding of matter and space itself. 2. Consciousness and energy interaction. If consciousness is structured as an energy resonance in the TFH field, then we may be able to scientifically explore consciousness as a real physical force. This could lead to a revolution in neuroscience, AI, and even interdimensional theories of mind and perception. 3. Rewriting history. Are we rediscovering lost knowledge? If TFH proves that ancient wisdom accurately described universal laws, then we must ask, where did this knowledge originally come from? Oh, how did ancient civilizations understand cosmic principles that modern physics is only now proving? Is it possible that we are not learning all of this for the first time, but instead rediscovering knowledge that was once common before a lost era of civilization? Many traditions speak of a great flood, a cataclysm that wiped out an advanced civilization, leaving only fragments of their knowledge preserved in myths, religions, and esoteric teachings. The Emerald Tablet, the Vedas, the Book of Enoch, and even the Lost Library of Alexandria all hint at an age where science, spirituality, and physics were one unified system of knowledge. Could it be that our current scientific discoveries are simply echoes of what was known before the pre-flood world collapsed? Were the Hermetic teachings, religious texts, and mystery schools an attempt to preserve knowledge that humanity once fully understood? If this is true, then the time-force hypothesis is not merely an advancement of modern physics, it is a return to the ancient science of reality, one that was buried and forgotten, only now being rediscovered. 903. Final thought, a message from the past? As we stand on the edge of a new frontier, one that unites physics, consciousness, and the deepest mysteries of existence, we should remember that our ancestors may have already walked this path before us. Are we truly discovering the nature of reality for the first time, or are we simply remembering what was lost? Let us close with the words of Graham Hancock, who has dedicated his life to uncovering the lost knowledge of our past. We are a species with amnesia. We have forgotten our past, but we are beginning to remember. The evidence is all around us, waiting for us to open our eyes. Graham Hancock. Perhaps, just as we once lost the knowledge of the stars, the energy fields, and the rhythm of creation, we are now awakening to it once more. The time-force hypothesis is not just the future of physics, it may be the key to remembering humanity's true past.